Hey guys, I'm Peter with RowdyRoman.com, and today I just wanted to show you a little bit about modeling in Fusion 360. Alright guys, I know learning a new program, a new computer program or application can be super frustrating. So I'm here to help start you in that 3D modeling adventure, so that you can start using your 3D printers, resin printers, more. So that's one reason why I got into 3D modeling on Fusion 360, is because I wanted to split models up and break it down so I could print it on my resin printer or my FDM printer. So I'm just going to jump right in. Let's just jump right in and show you step by step what I do to split a file. Alright guys, once you open Fusion, we need to import the STL that you downloaded from Thingiverse, or if you made it yourself or found it on another website. So we're going to go right here to Insert, and we're going to insert a mesh. Then we go to our STL, hit Open. And here it is. Now this is something my son wanted to do. It's I guess a Harry Potter wand, and I'm going to resin print it. So I have to cut it into pieces, 3 pieces to be exact. And I want to be able to glue it, and I want it to be relatively solid. So first things, in order to divide it up, I want to make sure I center it, and I want it to be moved down to the ground. So I click both of those buttons, and then make sure most printers work in millimeters, so keep that there, and then you hit OK. Here is a mesh. Unfortunately, we cannot split this in the mesh. We can delete parts of it, but we cannot split it up efficiently. So what we're going to have to do, since this is not an STL anymore, it's in a mesh, there's some steps that you have to follow in order to eventually get it to an STL and get it to a body. So first we're going to go up to Document Settings and right click, and right here it says Do Not Capture Design History. Click it, then hit Continue. Now it is not capturing our design history, so we will not have a timeline down here. So everything that we do right now, we can't necessarily go back to a certain point. So first thing, we go to bodies. There's our mesh body right there. First things, we always try to do these steps. Sometimes I'll show you it may not work, and then you have to go to another step. So right here, mesh body, and I right click again, and then it says mesh to be rep. This is going to turn the mesh file into an STL. You make sure your body's selected. It'll say 1 right here. You wanted a new body, and you hit OK. And it says, warning, this mesh contains a large number of facets, meaning all of the different triangles from the STL, there's too many for Fusion to deal with. And it says conversion has been aborted. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to simplify the triangles. So we're going to go into our mesh up here. It'll say mesh. Then we're going to go modify, and we need to reduce the amount of triangles there are. So again, we select the mesh body, and then we are going to keep it as adaptive, and then we're just going to change this down to 0.24, and we're just going to see what happens. It's going to reduce the number of facets. It's going to take a little bit to think, and now we're going to go back into our solid, and we're going to go and right click on that again, and we're going to do mesh to be rep. Same thing. Again, it has been aborted. So we just go back into mesh, and we're going to do the same thing, reduce. And this time I'm going to go down to 0.22. Then we're going to do the same thing. There it is. So 0.22 worked for this. This file is less complicated. Some files you're going to have trouble even at 0.22, and you're going to have to reduce it even more. So you just keep on working at it until it allows you to proceed. So I'm proceeding, even though it says it's with caution. Again, it takes a little bit. And there is our body now. And it automatically turns our mesh body, mutes it. So here it is, and it looks a little weird. But here's the wand, and it looks weird because of all of the little triangles, but you'll see that once I print this thing, that it's still going to be okay, and it'll still have plenty of detail. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go back up to document settings and right click, and we will say capture design history. All right. So now we have to split this thing up into 3 pieces. And you can see up here we have, all of our tops. We can rotate, and then we can go to the front. So in order to split in Fusion, we have to create construction planes. This is going to be right here, construct offset plane. So before I know where to construct this, I'm going to see if I can take a measurement of what we have here. And it's just a rough measurement, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just going to pick any point there, and then I'm going to rotate around and pick another point. And then once it thinks, it's going to tell me I have 289 millimeters. All right, so if I divide that into 3 pieces, then I'm looking roughly at 93 millimeters, somewhere in there, in order to get this thing perfect. So now that I have my measurement, I am going to hit construct offset plane. Now this automatically comes up with this guy. It's the same thing as origin. So if you don't see this, you can always click right here, the eye on the origin, and it'll pop up. And then what I'm going to do is, I know this is directly in the center, so I'm just going to click this guy, and I am going to bring it over roughly there. Doesn't have to be perfect for what I'm doing right here. I just need to know it fits. And then there we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Construct offset plane. Hit this thing again. And then I'm going to go backwards to 45. All right, now we have 2 spots where I have a plane that it tells the computer where I want to split my body. So now I'm going to go up into modify, and right here, this tool right here, split body, and then select the body that you want to split, and then you can select your splitting tools. So I'm going to select this guy, and I'm going to select this guy, and then hit OK. Now, sometimes on super complicated files, you have to be creative in how you split the body. Sometimes it will not split the body because of so many different intersecting lines with all of these different triangles. So once that's done, I'm going to turn off the origin, and then I'm going to turn off the planes. And then if you see over here in bodies, I have 1, 2, 3 bodies. If you hover over it, it highlights it. So I'm going to mute. Let's go ahead and mute these two. And then you may have seen me kind of rotate everything around. What I do on my mouse is I click the middle button and hold it while holding shift, and it allows me to move my mouse around and go exactly where I want to look. All right, so what I want to do is I want to find the center point of this area. So I'm going to zoom real close in and see if I can find some sort of circle amongst all of these triangles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to create a new sketch. And again, that origin comes up. I don't want that. I want just to click on this face right here. This tells Fusion that, all right, wherever you draw, it's going to be in relation to this face. So I click it, and then I'm going to do create. I'm going to create a circle. If I click this button, that does a circle from the center, if you know the center point. But I'm going to go over to circle, and I'm going to do a 3-point circle. And then I'm just going to move in and click there. Then I'll go over here, click here, and right down here. All right. Is the circle perfect? No, it is not. However, it's going to give me a very close center line. So this allows me to now figure out what kind of post I want for the other piece to fit into, like a peg in a hole. So now I am going to take a measurement of the circle I just made. So I click that inspect, and all I got to do is click that circle, and it tells me that it's a diameter of 11 millimeters. So I want to leave roughly 2.5 millimeters on the outside of this circle. So what I'm going to do is now I'll close that out, and I'm going to do this circle now that I have my center line, and I want to do roughly a 7.5 inch circle, or millimeter circle. Let's make that 8. Let's just do 8. All right. Now this is going to be my post that comes up out of the wand to fit everything together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the letter E for extrude, and I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to rotate it around, and I'm going to do 10 millimeters, and then there is your post or your peg. And then you have a couple different options right here. I always do join unless I'm having a problem with Fusion not liking it. Then I will switch it over to a new body. But I keep it at join, and I hit OK. And there is our peg. All right. Now that I have my peg, I want it to be able to fit in the hole relatively easy. So I am going to hit F for fillet and click this outer edge, and I'm just going to hit 2 millimeters, and that rounds the edge so that I initially can insert it into the hole of the next piece of the wand. So now that I have that, I am going to turn that body off, and I'm going to go down to the next body, which is this guy. And I am going to go to my sketches and turn on that first sketch that I did, and that tells me right there that is the hole, the exact hole of that peg that we just created on the base of the wand. So if you're new to 3D printing, you're gonna find out that if I do an exact hole for that peg, it's not gonna fit, and you're gonna have to be busy sanding. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hit O on the keyboard, standing for offset, and then I'm gonna click the circle. Well, maybe if it lets me. Let me turn this body off. That is not going to work. So let's hit cancel. I know that it is 8 millimeters. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here and edit sketch. And I am going to create another circle from that center line. And I'm going to make the hole, I want to make the hole roughly 0.2 bigger. So I'm going to do 8.2 millimeters right there. And now I'm going to turn, and I'm going to hit finish sketch. Now I'm going to turn that body back on. Make sure I have the right one. Yep. And now I'm going to hit E for extrude again. And now I'm going to zoom real close in, and I'm going to click what I want to be extruded. Notice I clicked the center of the original circle for the peg, but then that 0.2 millimeters, I click that as well. And now I am going to go and extrude that. So I'm going to do 10.5, and that, if you see, that's red, and now it'll say cut over here. So that is extruding into the base of the wand. Notice I did, instead of 10 like the peg, I did 10.5 to give plenty of room, and then plenty of room for some CA glue if that's what you're using. And then hit OK. And now we have the hole. And then we could turn the original body on, and there you go. Now I can turn that sketch off. And we're going to do the same exact thing right here. So I will, again, create a sketch. And I am going to click that face. And then, oh, some reason it did not like that. There we go. Now that this menu popped up, I am going to create a 3-point circle. And I try to zoom in as close as possible, because everything's triangles. Everything is, you know, slightly straight lines. So it's just got to be somewhat close. And I'm just going to choose this guy over here. All right. So there's my circle. And I'm going to inspect the circle. And it tells me it is 9 millimeters in diameter. So I will make a 6.5 millimeter circle. And then I'm going to hit E to extrude and make that peg 10 millimeters long. Hit enter, hit F to fill it. Click that, and then this one's a little bit smaller, so I'll do 1.5. There's that. And then I'm going to turn on the next body, turn off that body. And then the new sketch that I made, sketch number 2, I'll turn that on. Rotate everything over. And then I'm going to do right click on sketch and edit sketch. And then I want to create another circle, 6.7, enter. And then finish sketch, E to extrude, click both areas, and zoom out, and then hit 10.5, and we are good to go. Then we can turn off all of this stuff, turn on the bodies, and there is the wand in 3 pieces with your pegs. Now we need to export everything as an STL. So we don't want to do it all at once. So what we're going to do is turn off the others. We're going to leave the one piece. Then we're going to right click on what we have, the body that we have. If you have multiple bodies on your sketch, you just go up to where it says unsaved, since I haven't saved the document yet, and you right click there, and then you hit save as STL. Click OK, and then you save it to what you want. Wand base. Click OK. Alright, now we go to the next piece, and same thing. Right click on unsaved, save as STL, click OK. I do change this to high, but some people keep it lower. That's fine. Click OK, and then I'll do wand middle, save, and then click on the next body. Same thing, right click, save as STL, click OK, wand top. Click save. All right, there is your STL. So, all right, guys, there you have it. That's how I split a Fusion 360 file or a STL, import it into Fusion 360, and there we go. We can start printing. So I am not the greatest at Fusion 360, so if you know a better way to accomplish what we just did, then throw it up in the comments. Help the community out. So yeah. If you have any questions, just shoot some comments as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so that I can continue on doing this, helping out the community, and we can all kind of grow together in 3D printing and making. Thanks, guys. Bye.